A soft knock sounded on the office door before it opened. He carried a steaming mug of coffee and wore the worried look that had become his default lately. The office building was nearly deserted. James, the security team's done their rounds, and the cleaning crew's just starting. You staying late again? James took the coffee with a nod of thanks. Mike was one of the few people he trusted completely, which made the current mess feel even lonelier. I've got an idea, Mike. Something that might help us find our leak. Mike raised an eyebrow. He'd worked with James long enough to know when his boss was cooking up one of his bold plans. What's the play? James swiveled his chair to face his loyal assistant. What if I was out cold, unable to react to anything around me? People show their true colors when they think no one's watching. Mike's face showed confusion. Not sure I'm tracking. James stood, walked to the door, and locked it. Tomorrow night, set an emergency board meeting for Friday morning. Tell them I had a medical scare, and I'm under observation. Meanwhile, I'll be here, pretending to be unconscious, watching who shows up and what they do when they think I can't hear. Mike shook his head. That's a wild plan, James. What if there's a real crisis? You'll handle it through normal channels. As far as anyone knows, I'm in a medically induced state, only open to family visits. Only the cleaning staff and anyone claiming concern for me gets in. It was a daring move, even for James. But desperate times called for bold solutions. If someone in his inner circle was betraying him, this would expose them. People reveal who they really are when they think no one's watching. For hours later, James lay on the leather couch in his office, his breathing steady to mimic unconsciousness. He'd practiced for hours, keeping his eyes closed while staying alert to every sound. Mike had spread the word that James had collapsed and was under medical watch. As evening settled, the office grew quiet, the fading daylight replaced by the glow of city streetlights. At 10:30, James heard the door open softly. Cautious footsteps approached, followed by the distinct click of heels on the hardwood floor. Jessica Harper had arrived. James. Her voice mixed concern with something he couldn't quite place. Mike told me what happened. The doctors say you might hear us, even if you can't respond. James sensed her nearing the couch. The sharp scent of her designer perfume stirred memories of happier days when he'd believed her loyalty was real. I know things have been messy between us, Jessica whispered. But you need to get better. There's stuff happening you need to know about. Things that could ruin everything you've built. James's pulse quickened, but he kept his breathing steady. Was she about to confess to the corporate sabotage? Instead, her tone turned cold, calculating. Actually, maybe this is better. With you out of the way, I can finally push my plans forward. You were always too trusting, James. Too naive about how business really works. Her heels clicked away, followed by the rustle of papers. James realized with a jolt that Jessica was rifling through his desk. She had access via the executive keycard, and now she was using his unconscious state to steal secrets. Perfect, she muttered. The Carter deal specifics. This'll be gold for Horizon Corporation. James wanted to jump up and confront her, but he stayed still. This was the proof he needed, but he had to let it play out for undeniable evidence. Jessica spent 20 minutes snapping photos of documents with her phone before leaving. James waited an hour before moving, his muscles stiff from holding the pose. The betrayal was confirmed, but it brought no joy, only a heavy sadness for misjudging someone he'd once cared for. Tomorrow, he'd keep up the act to see who else revealed their true self. The second night began much like the first. James positioned himself on the couch, controlled his breathing, and waited. Mike had done a stellar job spreading news of James's condition, and employees had sent flowers and cards. At 11:15, a keycard swiped, and hesitant footsteps entered. Unlike Jessica's confident stride. They were soft, almost apologetic. Oh my gosh, a young woman's voice whispered. I'm so sorry to bother you, Mr. Donovan. I know I shouldn't be here, but I wanted to check on you. James didn't recognize the voice, tinged with a slight southern accent. The step stopped at a respectful distance. I'm Sarah Miller. I work the night cleaning shift. Been cleaning your office for 6 months. though I bet you've never noticed me. Most folks don't see the cleaning crew." Her words hit James hard. She was right. He'd barely registered the workers keeping his building running. "When I heard you were sick, I couldn't stop thinking about it. My grandma used to say even unconscious folks can feel the energy around them. Kind words and care can help healing." Sarah stepped closer, and James caught a faint whiff of citrus soap, simple compared to Jessica's pricey perfume. He felt a light blanket draped over him, tucked gently around his shoulders. "I brought chamomile tea," she said softly. "You probably can't drink it, but Grandma said the smell alone brings calm. It's on your desk for when you wake up." James was floored. This woman, invisible to him for months, was showing more genuine care than anyone else since his collapse. No one else had thought to bring comfort or adjust his blanket. "I also wanted to say something, Mr. Donovan. Might sound silly, coming from someone like me, but I think you're a good person. I've seen you thank the security guards when you work late. You remember their names. That matters more than you know." Sarah paused, gathering courage. "There's something else. I probably shouldn't say, but I saw a woman taking pictures of your desk papers with her phone last week. She seemed important, so I didn't report it, but it felt wrong." James's heart raced. Sarah had seen Jessica's espionage and had the guts to speak up, even to his unconscious form. "I hope that helps somehow. Get better soon, Mr. Donovan. The world needs folks who do right." Her soft footsteps faded, and the door clicked shut. James lay in the dark, overwhelmed by her unexpected kindness. For the first time in years, he questioned his measures of worth. Sarah, who earned in a year what he made in a day, had shown more care and courage than anyone in his elite circle. The third night, James's deception took a turn. Sarah's familiar steps approached, but her pace was slower, and he heard quiet sniffles. "I'm sorry, Mr. Donovan," she whispered, voice heavy with emotion. "I shouldn't be crying here, but I got bad news today. My little brother, Ethan, is sick. The medical bills are more than we can handle." James's heart ached as she struggled to compose herself, still adjusting his blanket and refilling his water. "The doctors say Ethan needs surgery, but our insurance won't cover it all. I'm working 3 jobs, including this one, to save up. I asked HR about a pay advance, but they said part-timers don't qualify." James wanted to sit up and help immediately. He could fix this with one call. But exposing his act now would ruin his chance to stop Jessica's sabotage. "I don't know why I'm telling you this," Sarah said. "Maybe because talking to you is the best part of my day, even if you can't hear me. You seem like someone who'd get what family means." As her footsteps faded, James decided to act. The next morning, he quietly told Mike to set up an anonymous fund for Ethan's medical bills. By the end of the week, James's ruse had exposed ugly truths. Jessica returned twice, stealing more documents and calling competitors. His marketing head visited once, scheming to reassign James's duties without concern for his recovery. But Sarah's nightly visits were the highlight. She brought homemade snacks, shared stories of her family, her dream to finish college, and insights about the office. "Your assistant Mike's worried sick," she said one night, arranging flowers. "I saw him yesterday. He hasn't slept in days. He cares about you, not just as a boss, but as a friend. That's rare." James realized Sarah saw things his wealth had blinded him to. Her observations came from genuine care, not ambition. On the 10th night, Jessica's actions escalated. She stormed in, whispering urgently into her phone. "No, you don't get it. James could wake up any day. We need to finalize the Carter deal now." James's blood ran cold. She wasn't just stealing. She was orchestrating a hostile takeover of Donovan Enterprises with Horizon Corp, using his condition as cover. After she left, James faced a dilemma. He had enough evidence to stop her, but ending the ruse meant losing Sarah's nightly visits, the one honest connection in this mess. The next evening, Sarah arrived early, nearly bumping into Mike at the door. "I'm so sorry," Mike said. "Just updating Mr. Donovan on business." "That's what I'm here for," Sarah replied warmly. "I'm Sarah Miller, night cleaning crew. I check on him nightly." James listened as they talked. I saw a woman taking pictures of documents, Sarah told Mike. It felt wrong. Mike's voice sharpened. Can you describe her? As Sarah detailed Jessica, James realized Mike had suspected her, but lacked proof. Miss Miller, Mike said, would you help us catch her? Sarah agreed, despite the risk to her job. I'll do anything to protect Mr. Donovan, she said. He's a good man and doesn't deserve this. Over the next days, Sarah and Mike documented Jessica's moves. Sarah alerted Mike when Jessica entered, and he activated hidden cameras. James admired Sarah's courage. She acted purely from principle, not gain. Jessica's takeover was set for Friday, 2 days away. Believing James's condition left the board no choice but to accept Horizon's offer. Thursday night, James knew the ruse had to end. He had evidence to crush Jessica's scheme, but more importantly, he couldn't keep lying to Sarah. Friday morning, Mike brought a folder of evidence, camera footage, recorded calls, and documents proving Jessica's betrayal. But he looked troubled. Sarah asked about the anonymous donation for Ethan's surgery. She's grateful but suspicious, worried it's from you, and wrong if you're unconscious. James's heart sank. Even his help had complicated things. Sarah's integrity made her question accepting aid under false pretenses. Set up the confrontation for this afternoon, James said. Make Jessica think it's a routine board meeting. Have all evidence ready, and make sure Sarah's there. She deserves the truth from me. At 2 o'clock, James lay on the couch, hearing Jessica in the conference room, pitching Horizon's takeover as best for the company. Mike signaled everything was ready. James sat up, muscles stiff but mind clear, and walked into the meeting. The room erupted, shock from board members, relief from some, horror from Jessica. Good afternoon, James said calmly, taking a seat. I needed to uncover some troubling truths. Jessica paled as Mike played footage of her stealing and plotting. 2 weeks of evidence, James said. Every theft, every call, every step of your plan. Jessica's composure broke. You have no idea what I've been through, James. After our breakup, you kept me around like a pity hire. I deserved better. So you stole my company? James replied. The board's legal counsel leaned in. Ms. Harper, are you admitting to espionage and fraud? Jessica's lawyer tried to intervene, but her resentment spilled out, justifying her actions. James's eyes were on Sarah, whose hurt and confusion stung worse than Jessica's betrayal. You were awake the whole time? She asked softly. Before he could answer, Jessica's meltdown continued, but James approached Sarah during a recess. Everything you did meant more than you know, he told her. You showed me real character. Sarah faced him, dignified despite her pain. You heard about my brother, my struggles, while lying there judging us. Her words cut deep. What I felt listening to your kindness was real, James said. You changed me. Sarah shook her head. How can I trust you now? Jessica was fired, charged with espionage and fraud, and sentenced to 3 years. Horizon's takeover collapsed. But James felt no victory. Sarah's loss hurt more. 3 weeks later, he noticed security guards and maintenance workers, influenced by Sarah's lessons. She'd switched to day shifts to avoid him, and though Ethan recovered, she ignored James's attempts to reach out. One Friday at 11:30, familiar footsteps approached. Sarah appeared, now in a security uniform. I got promoted to night security supervisor, she said formally. I'm checking executive offices. She held out an envelope, a letter James had sent. This one was different. You didn't make excuses, just asked how to earn my trust. James took the worn envelope. What did you think? Sarah stepped inside, closing the door. You learned something, but you've got more to learn about honesty. Will you teach me? James asked. Sarah studied him. Maybe under conditions. No more schemes, just get to know people honestly. Use your wealth to help, not just when you feel guilty. And trust takes time to rebuild. James agreed, and Sarah softened. Maybe we start with coffee, during normal hours, both of us honest. James smiled. I'd love that. 6 months later, James and Sarah sat in a downtown diner, her college funded by James's scholarship program. Donovan Enterprises' Employee Assistance Program now supported workers' healthcare, education, and emergencies. Jessica served 18 months and moved away. Do you regret it? Sarah asked. I regret lying to you, James said, but not learning who you are. Sarah smiled. I don't regret helping someone I thought needed care. 4 months into dating, James pulled out a ring at the university steps. Sarah Miller, will you marry me? Not the CEO, but the man you made better. Tears in her eyes, Sarah nodded. Yes, James Donovan. The real you. As he slipped the ring on, James knew real love wasn't earned through lies or wealth, but built on honesty and kindness, the test Sarah had given him to become the man she believed he could be.